2, 1, and come on. We are recording with Dr. George Fareed, who is, I guess, first ever. You're live in the field reporting from a hospital, from a medical center. And for everybody listening in the future, today is Monday, September 22nd, 2021. And you were over. What?
Sorry. I misunderstood you. That's
fine. And you were over in Rome, what, 15th?
From the 11th through the 15th of September, the International COVID Summit took place in Rome on the 11th, on the 12th through the 14th. We had 3 days of meetings, and the second day involved speaking to the Senate of Italy on early treatment. It was all focused on early treatment. It was not an anti-vax or any vaccine aspect to the COVID pandemic. It was all the facts of the realities of people, lives being saved, and by infections being terminated by early effective treatment with protocols that were somewhat similar around the world. And we wanted to get that message out. There are doctors from all over the world: Latin America, Europe, the United States, and Asia, and India, and South Africa. So we had a really good representation, and we had doctors who were very supportive of the approach that Dr. Tyson and I have taken here in the Imperial Valley of California, and that others have used around the United States. It's just so sad that certain countries and third world countries have done a better job of making available early treatment to their citizens compared to the United States. And we're still deficient in that area.
And now, just simpleton question: was it what was the purpose of it being Italy, or did it just happen to be there? Was it the first international COVID summit? Or
it was to help Italians, certainly, and then help others around the world and other European countries. And they had the lectures or the presentations streamed live to 140 countries. And on the second and third days, there were over 100 million people streaming in to learn about early treatment strategies. And there was that was the purpose, was to go beyond one country. And even though Italy took the initiative to have it there at a historic location in their country, in Rome, and to have it before their Senate, just like we in the United States had early treatment hearings in the Senate of the United States in November that I participated in, and then in January with other doctors, again, pleading for communication and dissemination of the strategies for early treatment that have been so effective and eliminate the need for hospitalization or going on a ventilator. And I'm treating patients in hospital here in the valley that I work in. And this weekend I had several patients on ventilators that didn't get early treatment, vaccinated or unvaccinated. It can still deteriorate if you don't, with this deltoid variant, because it's more aggressive than the primary variant that we don't see anymore.
Now, I believe for a while, or for at least a little bit, India was offering, it kind of sounded like your treatment. It was like little cards that had ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, and I think azithromycin in it. It was like $1 a card, or maybe it was like a week dose. And they're giving out. They did a trial, I think last week or the week before, in the largest state in India, which has 246 million people, and they said their daily COVID counts dropped to 0 using this. But then, as of about a week ago, they are no longer allowing that.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
Hello. This is Dr. Fareed. Yes. How can I help you? Yes. Mm-hmm. Do you have a question for those prescriptions? Yes?
It looks like we're unable to fill those. I mean, we don't even have
Okay, well, you cannot fill can you fill the Plaquenil though? For the patient?
with Rite Aid, we're unable to fill it because for that diagnosis, I'm unable to do it.
Well, I'm not going to make up a diagnosis. So you should. It's what cures the problem.
You can send it to another pharmacy if you want to.
Well, you're very kind to tell me that, but call the patient and let them know you're doing that if you don't mind. Thank you. Sorry, it's a typical word.
Do you need me to cut that out?
I don't care. No.
Okay, all right. I didn't know.
It's what we face here.
You
can't predict when you try to help people outside of our area. And
I got you.
It's just one of the frustrations that we should never be dealing with.
So, well, let's go with that then. So, is that's a problem you're having where it's because
I'm not sure I understand.
Sorry.
That's all right. Siri's being rude.
Siri,
Siri, you were not invited to this podcast. This is with Dr. George Fareed. She can schedule a podcast if she'd like. But we're having that problem though, where across the nation, right? We're having pharmacists who aren't filling prescriptions for hydroxychloroquine or ivermectin,
right.
And it's
it's so bad.
So bad. Yeah,
they override a doctor like me that's had 50 years of practicing medicine, and we know the medicines we're recommending, and they're so safe and so effective.
Yeah,
but it's not happening all the time, but enough that I have other alternative methods to get the treatment for the patient.
Yeah, and for everybody listening, that was not planned. That was not part of this podcast. But it's kind of fitting though, right? Because part of the reason why I asked about Italy is it's because it's so frustrating that we have these protocols with these generic drugs that have been studied for decades. We know they're safe and they're cheap, and they're having overwhelming effectiveness in all the 9,000 patients you've treated along with Dr. Tyson in the Imperial Valley. And yet they're being banned. You're not being able to fill out ivermectin. Pharmacists are outright refusing to fill it. And
not all, but they're
not
enough.
All.
It's tough for the patient when it's a time issue that the sooner they get on the treatment, the better.
Precisely.
And if it delays it a day or 2 or 3 days, it's just that means more virus is multiplied and has the potential for spreading. So
Precisely.
And then you bring up the issue of packets that India has made available in that Uttar province that has overcome their pandemic in India with ivermectin packets. And El Salvador, for instance, the government gives out a packet to every citizen, so they have it available it's with ivermectin. That's become a very popular anti-COVID agent. However, we've had such great success with hydroxychloroquine. We would recommend that in addition or separate if the ivermectin weren't available. But principally, there are a few more mechanisms of action of hydroxychloroquine for its anti-COVID action that make it even better from my perspective than ivermectin. But so in our current protocol, we prescribe both, and that particular pharmacist calling in said, well, we don't have ivermectin, and we don't give out a hydroxychloroquine because it's not FDA approved for this purpose. And it's generally these pharmacists haven't been informed on their own or researched what's really happening and effective, and also they're basically indoctrinated by our federal agencies in this, and they've been that way for 18 months. And Steve Hatfield, you mentioned him, he was in Rome, great doctor, and he fought against what the corruption did in the agencies with that Bright and Woodcock, and then Fauci ultimately in destroying hydroxychloroquine and destroying the cure, as he said, which he was right. He was right that lives were lost, too many, and they still are, unfortunately, being
Yeah,
lost.
yeah. I mean, it's one thing to talk about the VAERS data with the vaccine, but that's small fry compared to the number of deaths that could have been avoided and future deaths that can be avoided with your early treatment protocols. And you're talking about you're having trouble filling them out. I mean, I was outright banned from YouTube, about a month ago for talking to physicians about this. Was it the FDA rejected the booster shot proposal, and then the CDC overrode it and said that they're recommending it and they're clearing it anyway. And it's like, and you have those two heads of the FDA or CDC that stepped down like a month and a half ago because they said, quote, it's no longer about science, it's about politics. It's
Yeah, exactly. It's very, very remarkable. I'm glad
well,
they did.
and then about 10 days ago, the Biden administration initiated federal control to seize the monoclonal antibody stockpiles, and they are now limiting the distribution to places, most exceptionally, Florida, and where they were using, I guess, the most of them, and they're now control. So it seems, I mean, we're kind of at this unprecedented area of not allowing people to fill out prescriptions for generic drugs that work, blocking the shipment of monoclonal antibodies, outright banning anyone that raises a question about any of this stuff, not least of all Nicki Minaj, which I never thought would be a topic of discussion on this podcast. But I mean, at what point, and I know you and I have touched on this before, and I know I gotta let you go in the next 5 to 7 minutes, is at a certain point though, I mean, we have to be approaching, I mean, a crime against humanity.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
This is going from, you always expect for some drug to be rushed into the market. It goes back to the dawn of time, and in 20 years you get the infomercials. Did you or a loved one take what? Sure, you get it, but actively withholding effective generic drug treatment from people and
I
only
know.
allowing
Very cruel what they did.
do you think that's where this is going? I mean, it seems
I
like
hope so. I hope that they'll be held accountable, but we need to overcome that still. It just shouldn't be that this way. I never thought I'd be here at this point about 15, 18 months from where we were in March of 2020, still facing this barrier. It should have all been opened up, and they should have done what was right for so many people
now.
and for the world, basically.
Now, do you believe that the first international COVID summit in Italy, do you think that will help facilitate your early treatment protocols? Do you think it's getting the word out there?
It'll help it. It just depends on how widely it gets seen.
Yeah.
And it gets recognized and it's just that it's the entrenchment of the brainwashing has been so strong that people are hard to come to accepting another truth on this, or the real truth, actually.
Yeah, but it seems like, if if it works, then it's only a matter of time, because it won't need to be who hears it so much as it works. The proof will be in its action, and it will generally kind of move around the world, and that it is this thing that is working, right? No one needed to explain.
Yeah, I mean, they have to look at the nationwide study findings, and that's what Harvey Reich has called for a year and a half, in that these countries which have adopted now the true approach of early treatment with effective agents like ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine are. Thank you very much. Bye. And people leaving the clinic right now. Thank you. I'll clean up here and close out. It's just tragic, and it just makes one so disappointed, disillusioned with everything. It's in our system in the United States in particular.
Yeah. Now, do you think this is going to continue with? do you think, to use sort of a younger term, do you think this will continue to red pill people in terms of them needing to take additional booster shots and wondering why pharmacists aren't filling these out? I mean, it's got to keep. I mean, just since the first podcast you and I have done till now, you can already see the needle kind of moving more and more and more, and it getting out there that, ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine works, and it works astonishingly.
Yes.
Is there anything else to do other than what you're doing right now? Just keep pushing it.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's what's needed, and we need to get more voices out there and more of into the mainstream media, if at all possible. Particularly, it seems like it's very difficult to do that, though, and we need that other large medical groups and agencies to be on board with this. I don't know why they're not. I really don't. They just don't want to recognize what's true and what's effective, and then they don't want to look in the mirror and realize they were the cause of lots of suffering and death, and led the world into a tragic situation in many dimensions because of this.
Speaking of continually pushing the truth, it's 8:03 p.m. and at 8 p.m. Project Veritas is apparently releasing a video from inside Johnson & Johnson. So it'll be interesting to see what exactly it is that they're revealing. But it kind of closing thoughts is all hyperbole aside, all exaggeration aside, do you think this will go down as a crime against humanity?
I think it does. Yes, I do think so. I really think there are multiple crimes against humanity, but it's the actual creation of the pandemic and the virus that was released is a huge crime.
Oh yeah,
and
well, yeah.
So that's one aspect, and then the blockage of early treatment is the other crime.
Yeah,
and the economic hardships that have been inflicted, and psychological, and what health impacts. There can be multiple crimes, not just one aspect. There are multiple aspects to the crime, I should say.
I mean,
and it part of it deals with a gain of function creation of a horribly virulent fatal type of viral infection that when it gets advanced, it becomes fatal. So that's a huge part of this. People need to be held accountable for.
Yeah, it's. I mean, we're at 4 million global deaths right now, I believe. I mean, we're at 2/3 of the Holocaust, and it's only happened in a year and a half.
Gosh, that's staggering.
Yeah, when you think about it like that, we're at 2/3 of the Holocaust in about 1/3 of the time, which is insane. But the only thing that we can do is continue to just talk about it and not be shushed into the corner, which is, I mean, we're doing a podcast that, I'm kicked off YouTube. You're at the office right now. There is nothing other to do than to, put up a fight like this and keep talking about it. And it's an honor to do these with you, sir. And
thank you very much.
Yeah. And
what you do.
You know what I would love? If I could I'll email him. Would you do a podcast with Dr. Hatfield?
Oh yeah, that'd be wonderful. Absolutely.
Hell yeah. Let's figure we're already banned. There's nothing else they can do. So let's keep pushing this. I'll send him an email right now.
Good.
But I know
you send me his email address too, if you would. I didn't get it.
Absolutely. I'll forward it to you.
Communicate with him. I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, man. We'll set that up, and until next time, I know it's late and you're still at the office, and I promised you it'd be a short one. So we will wrap this one up. Dr. George Fareed, doing the Lord's work. God bless America. Thank you for what you're doing. And I'll send you the link when it's up. It should be up momentarily because it's a short episode, so it's easy to edit. And
Great.
I'll send
share
you
it.
Hatfield's email, and I'll put you guys in a thread together, and let's get an episode with all three of us.
Okay, absolutely. Great.
Thank you, sir.
You're very welcome. Thank you. Take care.
Absolutely. You as
Thank
well.
you for
Stay safe.